What's up, Victoria? It's Victoria, and I want to tell you my favorite products that I tried this year. If you are new to my channel, hello, welcome. Most of my content when it comes to makeup revolves around appreciating my makeup collection as it is, but I also am a makeup reviewer, and this is a side hustle for me, and talking about new products is a great way to get new eyes on you. So if that's you, I would love for you to subscribe and see what I do here and stick around. I am doing Messmas, which is just my version of Vlogmas, and they're not vlogs, they're just videos. I'm posting every day this month up until the 25th, and then I'm going to take the rest of the year off. So please stick around if you want to see more of me in your feed. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, please hit the like button and also hit the hype feature if you have it. I would appreciate it. No worries if you don't have it. Also, no worries if you don't want to do any of that. I'm on Patreon and I have channel memberships. If you're into that sort of thing, check it out. Also, while you're down there, check out my pinned comment. In there will be links to support people directly who need your help. If you have additional funds right now, please consider supporting them. I know that most of my content usually revolves around not buying things. These are the products that are the best of the best, so if you were considering ever buying something from me or based on my recommendation, these are good products to try if they sound like they will fit your lifestyle and what you need in your makeup collection right now. But also, as always, keep in mind that you don't have to buy any of this stuff, and just because I like it doesn't mean it would be the best thing for you. I'm just shouting out some products that I really enjoyed this year. How I have this set up, I have like one winner and a couple of like honorable mentions in some categories. I'm only going to show you me putting on my absolute favorites from each category if there is multiple in the category. Also, you might be asking, Tom, why aren't you wearing any of the makeup that you're talking about? I recorded this video once and I fudged the audios. This is my makeup video and I just like didn't want to wear the same makeup in every single video this month, which is probably what would have happened because I didn't immediately get around to refilming it. And so that's what I'm doing right now. But you are gonna see this look in a lot of videos. The hair will change, the top will change, but this makeup is gonna be in many videos. So, you know, brace yourself for that. This year, my favorite primer got reformulated, was touched by the hand of Satan and reformulated, and I don't like the new version of it. And that was the Cell Rejuvenating Priming Moisturizer from Victoria Beckham. My favorite, I love it. And the new one just doesn't hit as hard. I didn't buy it. I've only ever swatched it in a store in New York City, and it looked sparkly. And I'm not into that. Like, I love sparkle, but I don't like it in my primer. That's not where I want the sparkle. Not for me. So this year, I've not been on a hunt for like a new primer to replace it. Casually, I've been keeping it in the back of my mind. I still have a bottle that I'm working on of the original formulation, but part of this year I kept in the back of my mind, it's like, well, we're gonna have to find a new primer. And in the past, historically, I would just do a big roundup of a bunch of primers and then do a mega video and report back on each of them. But you know what? I didn't really feel like doing that. That primer, the Victoria Beckham Cell Rejuvenating Priming Moisturizer, was like my favorite primer, but I know that a lot of my audience wasn't using it, so I don't think there was like a large reach for people looking for a replacement for that. There were a couple people in my comment section, but I don't know that that type of video, like looking for a replacement for this thing, would have like done very well. Anyway, I did, over the course of the year while trying things, find a wonderful replacement that is a little bit cheaper than what the Victoria Beckham cost. And that was the VIEVE Skin Nova Primer. This really knocked my socks off. So this is actually my second bottle of it. I bought a mini. Earlier in the year, I did a VIEVE dedicated brand review where I tried a lot of VIEVE. Not everything that VIEVE has to offer, but I tried a lot of VIEVE. And one of the things whenever I was trying VIEVE, the one thing that so many people said to me, they were like, you have to try the primer. I think you'll like it. I like the Victoria Beckham, but this is also very good and very similar. And everyone was right. This is a very similar texture to the original Victoria Beckham primer. Everything about it is really lovely. It does have a slight gold sheen to it, but it's not so gold that I feel like it changes my skin tone, which sometimes it can. And I've worn cool toned makeup on top of it because I do slightly lean more cool than I do lean into warm whenever it comes to my skin tone. So sometimes that can be a concern, but this is just really lovely. It's like imperceptible when you put foundation on top of it, but it's also not really so golden that it's like really affecting anything. Anyway, this makes my skin look plump, juicy, ripe, and a little bit blurred, and that's exactly what I want my primer to do. The brand did reach out and offered me 2 pieces of makeup, and I was gonna buy this anyway, so I just had them send it to me. And I also have their Supernova primer, and I really like both of them, but I think this one is more my speed. But I also like the one in the jar, and I probably could finish both. I have a lot of primers. And I also tried a lot of new primers this year. I have a couple of honorable mentions. So VIEVE is most expensive. The next most expensive but beautiful product is this from RITUEL. Joelle de Fille. This is their Creature of Light. I have the shade in Moonlit Creature. This is so beautiful. It kind of does everything that the VIEVE does. These are not too far off from one another. This comes in a couple of different shades, but I really like this ethereal blue one. As I mentioned earlier, my skin leans slightly cool tone, and having that little bit of blue sheen in it kind of really does something for my skin and makes my skin look incredible. You can also kind of see the blue sheen through the foundations that I wear, but I also wear very light coverage foundations. But there's an etherealness to wearing this product. There are more natural looking shades of this product too, if like blue's not your jam. The other shades that are not this one are all very like common, like champagne kind of colors for different skin depths. I also have some friends who have tried all of the shades, and it seems that they flex very well. I think a couple of people with lighter skin tone said that the deepest one wouldn't work for them, but I just wanted to shout that out. This is an incredible product, highly moisturizing, very blurring, very gorgeous, very stunning. And now for my cheapest option, and it's pretty affordable, but you know, that depends on your definition of affordable, what one can afford, only one knows. And so this might be in your budget, it also might not be in your budget because it's not exactly drugstore price. But this from Trixie Cosmetics. This is their first base priming spray. They sent this to me a little bit earlier in the year. I've done quite a bit of Trixie content throughout the year, and I featured some Trixie products. Even in Messmas, I did a best and worst of Trixie Cosmetics. This is one of the best products that they have to offer. This is so incredible. This is a great, just kind of like very neutral primer. It's not glowy. It's not like super sticky or anything like that. It's just like a little bit of skin prep. And sometimes you just need a little bit of skin prep. And this really does it. It blurs the skin, and I'm not really sure how they do that. It's incredible. This is also really good. I try to keep my makeup collection at what I consider to be a reasonable size. When I'm doing this kind of work, reasonable can stretch. And also, I don't keep a lot of the stuff that I get to try in PR because it just becomes too much sometimes. Primer this year, I feel like this was a great year for primer for me. I don't think, maybe I didn't mention this. The qualifications just had to be that I tried it for the first time this year. Not that it was a new launch specifically. All of those are products that did not come out this year. Let's move on to Complexion products. There's going to be an honorable mention. I think some of you are going to be like, that's not what the winner is. I just feel like that product's a little bit too new to me. I don't feel as lived in with it. So I don't want to shout it out as like the best one I tried this year because it was another product that I reached for a lot more this year before it came into my life. And that was this from CREAL. This is their Face Flex. I have the shade 1.0. There is a lighter shade now that I think would work better for me, but this works just fine. This is really incredible because whenever I put it on my skin, it does look too deep. And then as I blend it out, ooh, it is incredible. And I don't know if the Face Flex is supposed to mean the shade flexes. Their shade range is pretty piss poor, and I want to be very upfront about that, and I have complained about it. They extended it this year. The shade problem that they have, which they definitely do. This is an incredible product. I'm in my mid-30s, and my skin is just doing different things than it once did. And I have found a lot of value in things that do move on my face gracefully. When you're younger, your skin kind of like is more elastic and snaps back, and products that maybe don't move with your face as much can work better on your face. These products that like claim for flex and that are also made for more mature skin, I have just been loving them. I've loved them the whole time I've done makeup. I've always been into that sort of complexion product, but I have found them even more invaluable as I continue to age. Just looks so good. And the fact that you can kind of adapt to the coverage. I wear this all over my face. I like it under my eyes. It's beautiful. It doesn't get caught in that crease, which is like the biggest problem I have with concealers. It's a beautiful product. It's incredible. It's just so, so good. And yeah, this is something I will always want to have in my back pocket, like something that I will always want to have available to me. I don't think it like outdoes the Victoria Beckham as my favorite concealer, but I wouldn't put the Victoria Beckham concealer all over my face because of how much it costs. No, this is also expensive, but I will more freely put this all over my face than I would the Victoria Beckham concealer. So this is just like a little bit more of a different thing. If I'm going on a trip, I'm going to bring this, and it's my concealer and my foundation, and that's great. If I was going on a trip and I was taking the Victoria Beckham concealer, I would also need a foundation product because I wouldn't want to apply that all over my face. I just wanted to say that it's incredible. It's very good. I have two honorable mentions for complexion products that are not the CREAL. The first one was what I was referencing in the preamble to the CREAL, and it's the Victoria Beckham foundation drops. Unfortunately, I do really like these. In the next year, this could become my favorite foundation product. Basically, take everything I said about the CREAL product and apply it to this. This has a much lighter coverage than the CREAL. It's much less adaptable coverage-wise. I would say this is a light to light medium coverage foundation. It does my favorite thing that a foundation can do. It blurs my skin. It makes my skin look like slightly filtered filtered without a ton of coverage and wears beautifully throughout the day. It has a really good longevity for what it is. And it's not a skin tint. I think that people think because it comes in this, it's going to be a skin tint, but it isn't. You do have to shake it quite well. And that's something to know. If you don't like let it sit dormant for a while, it needs to be reincorporated. I'm willing to look past that. This is a very expensive product, and I wish that it came in packaging with a pump, because Victoria Beckham primer and even the new version of the primer come in very luxurious bottles that feel very luxe. This is just a squeezy tube. It seems to be a custom component, like it has the beautiful blue on top, but overall, you know, I wish it was just a pump in it. I don't know, because like this leaves much to be desired. But I am assuming that they put it in this completely black container for two reasons. One, you don't know when you'll run out, and I don't know why brands really don't want that. Two, probably if light hits this, it will probably mess with the formulation. And then also three, when it's separated, I bet it doesn't look pretty and they don't want you to see that. That's my guess. So they wouldn't put it in a clear glass bottle. Why would they? Gorgeous, stunning, amazing. If it is in your budget, I think it is worth getting, but if it is not in your budget, it's like not worth, you know, putting yourself into a financial risk for. It's just a really lovely product. We're going to talk about an indie product that is a complexion product that I think is incredible. I haven't played with it much in the latter half of the year. I've been really enjoying sticking with what I know this last half of the year. This happened last year too. There's just a certain part of the year where I'm just like, okay, I can no more newness. I just want to play with the makeup that I know I love. And I do love this, but I also have a lot of complexion products right now. So it kind of got lost in the sauce for a bit. But whenever I was doing this year-end roundup, I definitely wanted to feature it. This is also the most full coverage option that I'm going to put out here today. So the product is from People of Earth Co. It is their face base. They were very kind and sent me a few shades. I shouted the launch out in Critical Sass. This brand, while being an indie brand, let's come for Sarah Creel's gig. There are 72 shades of this foundation, and they offer mixers you can even customize further. So how their system works is there are 72 shades. There are 6 levels of depth. Now I feel like I'm getting it wrong. There's 72 shades. There are 6 levels of depth. What's 6 times 6? 6 times 6 is... I think there are 12 levels. There are 12 levels of depth. Each level of depth has 6 shades in it. A warm, a cool, and a neutral. And then there's 3 olive offerings in each depth. I know that people with olive skin tones can often have trouble finding foundation shades. So in each level, there is a warm olive, a neutral olive, and a cool olive. Wonderful. Amazing. I can wear shade 3C, which is the level 3, the cool tone, and not need any kind of additional help, and it will look really gorgeous on my skin. They were also kind enough to send me like a couple of options and one of their mixers. It's not the cheapest kind of thing. These are $33 a pan, so just keep that in mind. They also sent me 4C, and they also sent me their black mix-in to desaturate the shades. I will say I'm having a little bit of wax bloom on these. It's not mold, so if you see those little bumps, I don't think that's like a quality issue. But that is also something to keep in mind, that if you were to go with this product, you would want it to be maybe your only complexion product until you use it up. It has a nice medium to full coverage, and it's so skin-like, and it's incredible. The longevity on it's incredible. It's a product that, like, when I first put it on my skin, it looks good. And then about a half hour after I put it on, like anytime I put it on in a video, I'll put it on at the beginning of the video. And by the end of the video, my skin just looks perfect. It just looks perfect. It's so good. I think the thing that distracts me from using it is the fact that it is in a pan, which I'm like pretty bad about remembering those things whenever I'm doing my makeup, but it is so good. It is so good. It's also kind of really fun to mix and play. Like if you like Salt New York, but maybe you want more coverage than the offerings of Salt New York, this might be something to consider because you're already used to using a pan complexion product. I also like the Salt New York one, but if you're looking for coverage, whew, this has it. Okay, the next couple of categories, there's no like backup. So years ago, I did a video where I tried a bunch of contours because I was on the hunt for the perfect contour for me. And it was specifically a cream contour. I had finished the amber shade in the Fenty bronzer compact. I liked that, but I wanted something more cool toned. So I tried a bunch of things and I landed on the shade Intuition from Rituel de Fille. But for the longest time, that was the only real like contour shade they had. They had a deep one and they had Intuition, but there was like a lot to be desired. Now, it was never claimed to be like a contour line because they have blushy colors in this line too and bronzy colors, so you can kind of like do whatever you want with them. They're like a multi-use pigment. But this year they extended the shade range to have more contour specifics for more skin tones, and I thought it was an incredible launch. And while I still love Intuition and it is my perfect contour, I did also fall in love with the shade Omen. I depotted mine, so it comes in a compact and there is glue on the back, so if you are a depotter, you can't just pop it out very easily. But I depotted mine. You can see that I have quite the dip going in this already. I love the Ritual Defeat Inner Glow Cream Pigment formula. To have an option that's a little bit deeper when I want to have a harsher contour. I also prefer this in my jaw area to Intuition because it's a little more visible, packs a little more punch, but even on my cheek where I typically put Intuition now, it looks really natural. There's a little bit of warmth in it, but I don't think it's warm enough to call a bronzer. I think that warmth was put in there for people who have a little bit deeper of a skin tone than me. They don't want something that's just like completely pink and gray. Which is what ultimately looks the best on me. This is really incredible. It's very good. I'm glad that they extended on the shade range. I love cream contour. It's not everyone's gig, but if you're looking for a really good one, the ones from Ritual Defeat are chef's kiss. Let's talk about bronzer. Anyone who's watched my channel for like the last 2 weeks will know what this is. But in case this is your first video of mine this year, these are not like in any kind of order. But if we were ranking them, this would have been the product that it came out of nowhere and blew me away. And I've been using it all year and I've almost used it up. That's how good it is. You've seen all the makeup I featured already. Imagine that times a little bit more. And I have so much makeup. And this product I've almost panned this year, which is so crazy. Like, that's so crazy for me to say. I bought some stuff from Trixie Cosmetics and tried them out because I felt like YouTube was like lacking the Trixie Cosmetics presence. Even though Trixie does all of her launch videos here, I just feel like on YouTube you don't see a lot of people reviewing it. And I think that's a lot because it's a brand that's a little bit confusing to wrap your head around. And I was determined to wrap my head around the brand. A friend of mine, Elle Essentially, I will link her Instagram down below. She's mostly a short form creator. I don't think she does anything on YouTube. She like sniffed out that I was like interested in Trixie Cosmetics. She DM'd me and she said, I know you're not gonna believe me. And I started, and she was like, but you need to try those cream bronzers. I wasn't even gonna buy the cream bronzers in my initial try on. Like, I was just like, I don't really care about this. I am so glad I did because it's the Trixie Cosmetics Trixie Stix Creams Bronzer in the shade Sunkissed. I don't love a bronzer that's like orange, and this is orangey. And when I opened it up, I was like, there's still no way I'm gonna like it. In that first try on, I put it on my skin and I was like, I don't know what's happening, but this looks so good on my skin. It just warms my skin just like a kiss. It doesn't look too heavy, doesn't look too orange. And it feels very like idiot proof. Anyone could apply this bronzer and blend it out and like get the perfect bronze. It comes in different depths too. They're pretty inclusive whenever they do things. Obviously, bronzer, I think, is like a really hard thing for a brand to nail, and I'm never gonna like apologize for a brand. Everyone can do better. She could have released more, but I think her range is like pretty decent for what she has to offer. Anyways, there's offerings that are a different depth. This product is just a banger. I tried the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer bronzer thing that a lot of people like on YouTube, and I tried that and I didn't get it. But whatever that does for other people, I think is what this bronzer does for me. If you were to buy it, it would come in a heart-shaped thing. I was getting toward the end of mine. The way I use and organize my makeup is very different than what I think most people do. Like, I depot a lot of my stuff when it comes to my cheek products because they take up a lot of space, and it's just like, I will always forget to like rotate things in. I put it in this pan, but this is like the very bottom of it. Like, I had already like gotten to the point where I couldn't really twist it up much more, and I depotted it, and there was still some left in the bottom. I scraped it out, but this is worth the scrape. And I don't usually say that. They've reposted me a couple of times talking about this bronzer. Like, it's incredible. Just, you know, for full disclosure, I do get PR from them now. They saw that first video and they saw how well I received a lot of what they had to offer, what I bought. So some of the, I have PR and things I've purchased from them. Just kind of full disclosure, like, I have like a relationship with the brand, but PR is never expected on my end, and they also don't have to send it to me. But I just want to be honest about the state of our relationship. Let's talk about lips and then we'll talk about eyes. This year was a year of lip products. Like, I did a declutter recently, and like a lot of the products I ended up decluttering, I like got this year. Like, I just tried a bunch of lip products. I also feel that lip products are like one of those things that brands will send you in PR. Like, even if like you're not one of their highest sellers, I just think that the markup on lips must be much higher than it is on some other things. I'm like both picky and not super picky about my lip product. I know a really good one when I see one, but I'm also not on the hunt for the really good ones. It's just like when one crosses my table, I'll try it on and I'll let you know, but it's not like, it's just so interesting. Some people lip is their favorite category. Some people complexion is their favorite I love complexion products. And then some people lip is their favorite. Some people it's like eyeshadow. So we all have our different things. This year I tried, well, I started trying it at the end of last year, but I tried Mob Beauty and I did a video dedicated to the brand. So if you want to check out my thoughts on that, I will try to remember to link it in the cards. But also if I forget, you just search Mob Beauty hautemess Tom and it will come up. I promised you. I have a lot to say about the brand. Anyway, most of it I liked. Not everything was a home run for me, but their lip products have been a home run for me. I loved their lipstick, but they didn't have lip glosses at the time, but they did launch a lip gloss this year. They launched, well, they've launched more even since this, but they initially launched with 3, and I bought the 2 sparkly ones because I really love ISAMAYA's lip lac in the shade Metal. They sent that to me in PR and I was like, this is crazy how much I love this because I give that brand a lot of shit. I give that brand a lot of shit. I have a lot of feelings about that brand for some reason. Not necessarily like I don't think you should buy from them. It's like not like a call for the boycott, but they annoy me. They annoy me, and I think they tried to send me PR to get me to shut up. And I said, I'm gonna keep talking shit. But Metal, their lip lac in Metal specific, I haven't tried any of the other shades. The Metal lip lac I've canned and I have rebought. Again, that's a very rare thing for me to do with my usage of makeup. But I think it has been dethroned by these lip glosses from Mob. I bought well, I've never gotten Mob PR. I was about to say like they don't send me PR. Sometimes you wonder, just like a quick aside, content creator. It's not even a complaint. It's just like sometimes I wonder, it's like I wonder if a brand will never send me PR because I say one thing that they don't like. And I really was critical of their packaging. Anyway, back to this because this packaging sucks. Just like what do you mean? They're a sustainable brand. That also needs to be taken into consideration, but I think they could do it better in a more pleasing way it's better than what they offer. They don't have as much sparkle as Metal does, but they don't have the lip plumping agent, which doesn't really bother me. I'm like a little less into lip plumper right now, right now. And so these not having a lip plumper is a big bonus for them. But Diamond Star Halo is the moment, but I also really like Dark Star, which was a collaboration with Jessica Hayes. Both are really great, but Diamond Star Halo is my favorite. It's the closest to Metal. Metal has a little bit of gray pigment flowing through the like clear liquid in it, but this is just like completely clear with beautiful silver sparkle. It's incredible. And I don't know that they were trying to dupe them. They're just like similar products, and so I tried all of them. I did a short like kind of comparing all of them. I don't know how to find that. I think I could link it, but the Mob video is more important. So go watch the Mob video. I bet if you watch that, the short I made of this would probably pop up not long after. I think it's 2 parts. Anyway, so incredible. Super nourishing feeling on the lips. So sparkly that I get compliments on it every time I wear it. Every time I wear it out of the house. These are great in the purse because they are really light, and I haven't had them break. So I think they're durable enough for that. So good. So good. And it takes a long time. I haven't found like the perfect lip gloss that never does the white thing, but I'm a blabber. I'm a talk. And whenever you talk a lot, I think it's like the air getting in your mouth makes that white ring happen. But these are really comfortable and it takes a really long time for them to do that. Incredible. 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 Highly recommend them. I want to try the creamy shade. There's like Jessica Hayes did another collab with them where they did a greige. Butter my biscuit and send me one. And I've been trying not to buy much makeup the last couple of months. I've called it a no buy, but I did buy one thing specifically to talk about on my channel. And then I did buy 2 products for pleasure, which they'll come up later. They're not my favorites, but anyway, they'll come up later. But I've been not buying that greige lip gloss because I'm trying to be good and not buy everything just because I want to. Also, Christmas gift, there's a lot of money to be spent this time of year. And I did buy the child some toys. I'm very excited. I'm excited about the toys for me. Like, I want to play with the toys. I also do want to shout out their matte lipstick formula. They have some really cool shades, specifically the shade M102. It's this beautiful grungy nude for my skin tone lip. Incredible. It still is a weird color. It's not exact, and I think they describe it as a greige. It doesn't end up looking greige on my lips. My skin tone just kind of changes things. And I think I have pigmented lips. So I think also when I put something on my lip pigment is fighting with the pigment of the product if it's not clear, which is why I mostly wear lip glosses. My M102 is a really cool, funky shade of lipstick. It's a really nice matte lip formula. It's actually an incredible matte lip formula. I don't really love matte lip formulas. I think that's like one of the best ones I've ever tried. Again, the packaging leaves a lot to be desired. They do offer like permanent components. These fit in the mascara ones, I'm fairly certain, and they make a lipstick component that you can buy that's like plastic and maybe more pleasing for you to interact with. I think there's a way that we can make sustainable packaging that's like nice to handle. Speaking of giving a lot of shit to ISAMAYA, their lip liner is incredible. This is not an honorable mention. This is actually like one of my favorite products I've tried this year. This is their lip liner in Liberica. And the reason I love this is because I love cool toned lip products and grungy cool toned lips. Like, I like things that have a lot of gray in them. I don't like bright poppy cool toned lips. Anyway, it's really hard to find actually grungy cool toned things in the mass market. Like at a Sephora, at an Ulta, it takes a lot of work to find the things that are really truly gonna give you what you want. And up until I tried this, well, and also the Mob one. The Mob one is also very good and kind of falls into this, but I think this is the best version of it. I was using Endless Cacao from Makeup Forever. It's a nice cool toned brown. It would look cool toned whenever I would swatch it on my hand, and then I would put it on my lips and it would read warmer, which is why I think that M102 shade I was just talking about pulls a little bit weird on my lip, which in a weird way I like. So I'm always on the hunt for a brown that has a lot of gray and a lot of purple in it, and this is it. When I put it on my lips, it still looks like a gray purple brown. And that's what I want. This is my one true desire, is that I want all of my lip products to be gray purple brown. I had to mix some things on my lips to make this happen today. You can check the description box if you're like interested in what's on my lips. But this is an incredible product. It's a really great product. Like, it's like, there's two things I recommend from what I have tried from ISAMAYA's line. Thing one, Liberica. And they have other beautiful nuanced shades in their lip liner too. So I think the formula is also very good, wears really well. It's a good lip liner formula. I can recommend this. I can recommend the Metal Lip Lap. If you are interested in ISAMAYA, I can confidently recommend those two things. Okay, let's move on to eyeshadow. If you are new here, I don't love eyeshadow palettes. I'm looking for a much easier way to apply my makeup. Today I took the time. Today I sat down, I pulled out a palette, which will get honorably mentioned. I pulled out a palette and I did some makeup. I put the makeup on my fucking face, okay? That's not how I usually like to do my makeup. I like my makeup to be easy breezy and blended, is how I usually like to wear my eyeshadow. So I am a big proponent of like maybe two mattes, like one in the crease, one to deepen out the outer corner, and then just a sparkle on my eye. I don't need an eyeshadow palette to do that. I can use two cream shadow sticks and then I can just use a shimmer stick. And that is how I have loved to do my makeup the last couple of years. This did not launch this year. The restocking of it did happen. Like, after their initial launch, the restock didn't happen until much later. And I even talked about how long the restock period was in a video last year. So these restocked in July, and they're from Dose of Colors, and they are there. It's literally magic sticks. I have the two original shades in my hand here. I did go ahead and buy two of the new shades. I've already featured one of them on my channel and applied it in a video. So I have two more because this product I think is perfect. Now, I think that the sparkly, shimmery eyeshadow stick trend was really popular this year. And I'm not talking about traditional eyeshadow sticks. I'm specifically talking about these ones that seem to be mostly made of water and are cooling when you put them on your eyes and then don't have a ton of base to them and are just kind of sparkles. Tower 28 released some this year. Danessa Myricks released kind of something like that this year, but it's kind of a thing that's really popped off. But this is something that has been popular in K-beauty, J-beauty for a while. So it's like not a new product, because whenever this product launched, a lot of people in my comments were like, just get the ones from Juicy, Tom. And I will say, I have tried the Juicy one. Mine's dried out because I didn't keep the plastic top, which you should do if you start buying these products. Okay? Because I only had this one for like about a year and it dried out. I still have it because I keep hinting that I want to do a more serious video comparing some of the sparkle sticks, which I do want to do. Will it happen during Mess? I'm not sure. This is my favorite type of sparkle. Very little base, if any base at all. Pure sparkle. I want to shout out the shade Icy specifically. A lot of people really love Urban Decay's Space Cowboy. But in my opinion, that has too much of a base that looks completely orange when I put it on my skin. This has a little bit of warmth to it, and you can see it, but I think that warmth makes the silver shimmer pop in it. But I do like to wear it with more warm toned other things on my face when I wear the shade Icy. But it is so incredible. Basically, you take it and you go bloop, and you're like, okay, there's sparkle there, and you go bloop, bloop. So much more sparkle. You can just keep going back and forth and get more and more sparkle. It's like so light on the eyelid. It never feels like it's super thick. It's just incredible. It's just like the more you apply it, just like the more layers of sparkle build up. And then whenever you like catch yourself in the light, you're like, oh my God. And I just love that sparkle. I also have the shade Stardust, which was one of the original launches. This one's a multicolor shimmer that in earlier videos this year, whenever I first started trying these, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, but I've been using it just as much as I use Icy. I like to use it as a topper. It's incredible. I love these products. They're so good. They wear really well on my eye. I do have to do a little bit of a specific prep for them. My eyelids are very oily and they love to eat a product. So I put down eyeshadow primer and then I set it with a matte cream eyeshadow that's like the same color as my skin. And then I like just put that on top and they have great longevity. I've heard other people who don't have as many eyelid issues as me also say that they have great longevity. These are incredible product. But I also tried a lot of eyeshadow palettes this year and a lot of other eyeshadow products that I think are worth mentioning. I also am going to shout out these Janessa Myricks eyeshadow sticks. I have complaints and I'll save some of that for the video where I more in-depth compare them. I just don't have time for it right now. I changed my lighting setting during this whole mess, and so right now it's like make content, post content, make content, post content. That's all that matters right now. All that matters is that. So I do want to take some time to like really delve into them. These, unlike the Dose of Color ones, are a little bit thicker on the eyes, but a sheer application of them can really get you a very similar effect. I like the foils better than I like the metallics, but you can also do it with the metallics, but this is a much thicker formula than It's Literally Magic sticks. These are really good. I wish they sold them as singles, because I like the foil shades. I just want the foil shades. Let me buy the foil shades, make more of the foil shades, sell them as singles. Because like also it's $40 for the duo, and you're what I think you're paying for, because this Juicy one was like $10 when I bought it. I think because it's a J Beauty brand, like the imports have made them more expensive now. But what you're really paying for, they decided to make them duos simply because they went through the process of manufacturing this frickin' magnet. But it's the literal same component. This is the one from Juicy. Why is this one $10? Why is yours $40? Do you know what I mean? So I have some qualms with that. Anyway, sell them as singles, you coward. Janessa Myricks, just sell them as singles. Anyway, I do really like these. I know I just complained about them, but that's why It's Literally Magic sticks are better. Look how, they are petite. But it's like, how often are you running through an eyeshadow? That's fine with me. I also have some other eyeshadow products I do want to shout out as honorable mentions. This from Prada. I'm not really one to shout out Prada anymore, but I just want to shout this out because it has been an eyeshadow palette that has been very valuable to me this year. It's special because I bought it when I was on a trip with Cam. She also bought one, so these are like sister palettes. She didn't buy this colorway, but we both bought our Prada eyeshadow quads together. This is in the colorway Primula, which is the deepest of their nude offerings. Okay, when I first got this, I was like, I'm probably very rarely gonna wear it, but it's so beautiful and so easy to work with that I come back to it time and time and time again. And I just don't really love warm toned looks all that much. And this has really changed my mind. It makes my eyes look so green when I wear these shades. That little bit of that duochrome on my eye is just so wonderful. It's incredible. Their formula is really good. I like the Prada formula. I like everything about this little palette. The little quads don't really like live in my mind rent free, but this one does. And there are a lot of times where I'm doing my makeup where I'm like, I want to use Primula today, and it's very good. So I just wanted to shout that out because I got it with my sister. But finally, I do want to shout out 2 collabs that I got in eyeshadow. Oh, also shout out to the Hannah Louise Poston and Salt collab. The only reason that's like not my favorites is it feels too new. These 2 products are from earlier in the year, and I feel like I know them a little bit better. So I just want to shout out 2 collabs. Andromeda collabed with Diva Rune and did this Magnetic Mineralia collection. There's like more offerings than just the eyeshadow palette. But here's what it looks like. This kind of like purple and gray color scheme, and even the neon greens are quite up my alley. Like if I'm gonna wear a neon pop, it's gonna be like a chartreusey green color. And then these shimmers are just to die for. And Diva Rune's matte formula is incredibly blendable and works just the way I want it to. And I just love that Andromeda got to collab with them. I really like this palette a lot. It's really great. And finally, in eyeshadow, I have another collab I want to feature, and it is what I have on my eyes today. This is the Coalescence palette. This is a collaboration with Newport and Bella Beauté Bar. I praise Bella Beauté Bar's formula all the time, but Newport really brought a vision to life here. These are really smoky mattes, minus like this lavender shade, with incredible shimmers, which, you know, I just really like Bella Beauté Bar's formula, but Newport's vision here is like really the selling point. I think it's incredible. I have a code with Bella Beauté Bar if you want to buy from them. It's hautemess Tom, just my handle, no spaces. And that saves 10%. Pick up a Coalescence palette. Pick up I like most of Bella Beauté Bar's eyeshadow palettes. So I don't really think there's a dud in the bunch. There's a couple I don't really care for, but that's mostly like a color thing. Anyway, some incredible eyeshadow products released this year, or that I tried for the first time this year. And I do want to finish off with a fragrance because this has been my whole life. Now, I know fragrance is a hot category. It has been a hot category for the last couple of years, and I have a great interest in fragrance. However, fragrance is a very expensive hobby. There are cheaper ways to do it, and so I really haven't really taken a full dive into offering fragrance content, and I haven't really tried to spend a ton of money on fragrance because it is so expensive and my budget is much less than this all of the time. So just keep that in mind. But when I go on trips, I tend to like to buy something like a souvenir. So, you know, my sister trip with Kim, this is what I bought, but often I like to buy a fragrance. When I was in Chicago, I had enough money that if I wanted to buy a fragrance, I could. I saved that money and rolled it over to my next trip in New York City that happened in September. And I was there with some friends before I went to the Catskills, and we went to the Bond No. 9 store. I have a couple of fragrances from Bond No. 9, and I just love, I love luxury fragrance shopping. It's so great whenever you really hit it off with a salesperson. And I understand that the relationship is that salesperson wants to sell me something so they can either make commission on it or make their boss happy. But when the vibe is right, you know it. Because I don't really always love to buy from people who feel very pushy. I like people to give me my space to try things, but I do want them to be happy to interact with me. It is a very hard balance to find. We were in like the lower part of Manhattan and the Bond store is down there, and I was like, guys, we're not far from the Bond store, let's go to the Bond store. And so we went, and the salesperson, his name is Blake. Shout out to Blake. If Bond No. 9 is in your budget and you want to make a purchase, please give Blake a call. He's at the main store. I will link the main store down below and like the phone number. You can ask for Blake. I mean, assuming he still works there. I don't want to assume that he doesn't still work there, but he's like sent texts to me a couple of times. They do that at luxury stores. They have like a store phone that they like text you from, and he's like giving me some offers through there. So I want to recommend that, like, if you are really into like the experience of talking and buying from someone who like sells this kind of stuff, I'm just going to recommend Blake. He was so fantastic. I was there with two friends, and it was rainy that day, and I would say that we probably marched into that store not looking like we were ready to buy a fragrance. And I had already told my friend there, Rebecca, that I wasn't going to buy a fragrance. I just wanted to smell some stuff. But Blake was great. I was taken to a place, and it was the time. And you know it. Like, well, I had the money. I saved the money for it. So that's thing one. That's the biggest hurdle to come over. And then two, I had to really like my time with the person. And Blake was so fab. And I was like, this is the time. This is the right time. We smelled a bunch of things. When we first walked in, we smelled some of the newness, and it was incredible. I knew immediately, like, we walked in, he was warm. He was like, have you ever shopped with us before? And I said, I have a couple of fragrances. We talked about the fragrances I already own. And then he made some recommendations based on that. But I ended up buying something I had a sample of before. And when I had the sample of it, I didn't like know that I loved it, but it had left the thought in my mind. It like left this like lingering thought in my mind. It's always just kind of sat in the back of my mind. And I asked to smell it while we were there. And I said, that's what I have to walk out with. And it is the fragrance Chelsea Nights. I will put the actual notes of the fragrance on the screen that they have for it. This is a 3.3 ounce bottle. I think they sell a smaller bottle that's like 1.7 ounces. It's still quite expensive, but you don't have to go all in for this size. But they only seem to sell that size online. I've never gone into a store and been able to like buy the smaller size, which I wish I could, but it's also like, I get it. I get it too. They want you to spend twice as much on the big one. Here's what Chelsea Nights smells like to me. Sexy. Sexy. There's a little bit of smokiness to it. There's a little bit of sweetness to it. And I am not a gourmand girl. And oftentimes I don't like sweet things. But this is like just smoky enough, because sometimes smokiness will turn me off, just sweet enough. It smells like the coolest girl, you know, the girl with baby bangs. The one who, whenever they're getting dressed up for a night out, puts on maybe a bra or a bralette, throws on a leather jacket over top of it, puts on her combat boots, and like just stomps down the street in like a mini skirt. This is what she smells like. She's too cool for you if you say hello. She's not rude. She just like didn't hear you say hi as you walked past her. Like the coolest person you know smells like this. And I'm not even just saying that because like that's kind of the vibe. And this fragrance has gotten me the most compliments I've ever gotten on fragrance. It just has. It smells so good. I think the thing that smells maybe the closest to it that you may have smelled if you are into fragrance is By the Fireplace. But I don't really love By the Fireplace because I really get that smokiness. I don't mind By the Fireplace, but that would be like, I would say like a comparable fragrance. Not exactly the same. There's more to this. It's more complicated, more complex on the nose, but it just smells so good. It just smells so good. But like I've gotten into Ubers and the Uber driver's like, oh my God, what are you wearing? You smell so good. I remember it distinctly. I was wearing this fragrance. I was going out to get drinks with my friend. I was wearing this fragrance. I got into an Uber. The Uber driver was like, look at you coming out. My hair, I had did my hair. I had blown it out. It was like super bouncy and like freshly clean and just styled. And I was wearing a cute little outfit. And he was like, who are you dressed up for? And I said, my friend. And he was like, you know what? We got to dress up for our friends. And I said, yes, we do. And I think he thought I was going on a date because I looked hot. I looked hot and I smelled good. So he asked for this. He's like, I think I would like the girls I date to smell like this. And I was like, you bet. You better be rich though, babe. Because this, if you're buying this for your girlfriends, if you have more than one, it's going to really ring up. Anyway, I love this bottle. Some of the Bond No. 9 fragrances I don't love. Like, they're all shaped like this. It's just whether, like, the color and the sticker in the front or whether it's clear. Like, I don't always love all of that, but this one I do like. The blue, the shiny blue with the hot pink. So fucking just, it's like, it's just awesome. I love it. I have great longevity with this. I can always smell it at the end of the day. There are some other Bond fragrances that I have that I don't feel like have as good longevity as this, but like I can smell this on my clothes forever. Like, you know how like if you're like, you didn't get your clothes that dirty when you wear a fragrance and you put that, put that shirt on again later down the line, you're like, I can still smell it. Oh, it's so good. It's definitely more of a nighttime fragrance, but I wouldn't wear it all the time. So I bought this when I was in Manhattan before I went to the Catskills with all of the other influencers that I went with. And I got so many compliments from the people that I was on that trip with. And I don't know, Kelly Gooch is watching this video and she is rolling her eyes so hard and she's probably going to leave a nasty little comment. So you better find it. And Kelly, you better leave a comment because I know you are. She's rolling her eyes so hard, but I had the fragrance of the weekend. I really did. People, every time I wore it, people were like, what's that? What's that? In fact, Hannah was doing some work while we were in the Catskills. She was like, oh, there's just like such a specific smell up here that's just so incredible. It's just so warm and inviting. And I was like, is it me? She smelled my wrist and she said, it is you. Oh, Chelsea Knights. Incredible. Okay, so let's break it down. Let's break it down realistically. If you have the kind of funds to buy something like this, I recommend it, but I also never recommend blind buying a fragrance. You should always smell it and wear it first because you have no idea. I'm just a person who enjoys this on the internet. So this is really expensive. So also you could just buy decants of it. So thing one, if you can get a sample of it, like if you have like a Bond No. 9 counter in a Nordstrom or they sell it in some of the higher end places. Like if you go in, you can smell, you might be able to score a bonbon from them. The bonbons are there. That's what they call their samples. And they're like wrapped like candy. They're so cute. I think I have one. Let me go find one because they're cute enough. You need to see it. This is what they look like. Inside is just a regular little tester bottle, but like it's so slay. Like, isn't that so cute? So cute. Anyway, so get a sample IRL if you can, if you have access to a Bond counter or a Bond store. That's my first recommendation. If you don't have that, buy a sample online because there are places where you can buy decants. If you like it and you can't afford a full bottle, buy a decant. There's no shame in that. If you want to smell like that, but you can't afford a full bottle of it, definitely go that route. If you are looking to buy Bond No. 9 fragrances, I do recommend you reach out to Blake. He was fabulous. Also, if you live in Chicago, I don't know if she still works it there. Dawn works the Bond No. 9 counter in the Saks Fifth Avenue on Michigan Avenue in Chicago. So if you're in Chicago, hit up Dawn, tell her Tom sent you. I don't know if she'll remember me, but I remember her. When I buy a fragrance off you, I remember you. Oh, there was also someone in the blue, what was her name? I think her name was Heather. She worked the Bond No. 9 counter in Bloomingdale's. in the King of Prussia Mall. So if you're out in the Philly area and you want to go to, or if you live near King of Prussia Mall, see if she still works there. Those were all incredible salespeople. So you could call any of those places and talk to any of those people if you want to learn more about Bond Number 9. I highly recommend that. And then the last way I would recommend, if you were looking to buy a Bond Number 9 fragrance, is through my affiliate link. But I highly suggest doing any of that in person, getting decants. I don't think anyone should blind buy this expensive of a thing. But it's incredible, and I have no regrets. No regrets about buying it. But I just want to make it clear, like, you don't need a million fragrances, and you also don't have to buy the big bottle, and you also don't have to buy it from Bond Number 9. Get it however you can get it, babe. And that, I think, is all of my favorites. That was really fun. It's so good to talk about your favorite products. It's so good to talk about your favorite products. It feels really good. It feels very guilt-free for me as a creator to be like, here's the things that I loved. And then if you buy them, I'm like fairly certain they're going to work for you. And it just feels really good. It just feels so good to be able to like say it and do that. Anyway, that's gonna wrap up the video. If you enjoyed this video and you aren't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button before you leave. Don't forget to like and hype Patreon channel memberships if you're into that sort of thing. The pinned comment, check out the pinned comment, and that's gonna be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to follow your hope, and you'll find me, and I'll see you in a video very soon. Go forth. Tits out.